A reading of the Holy Gospel according to Matthew, the 5th chapter. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. Then he began to speak and taught them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." The Gospel of the Lord. Today is a day to put things in perspective. It's All Saints' Day. It's a day to remember, a day to acknowledge the brevity of life, but also a day to offer thanksgiving for the beauty of living and learning and loving. Even this morning, as I was having my breakfast of yogurt and blackberries, I decided to smush up the blackberries in the white yogurt there. The purple juice swirled around and created a work of art. I hadn't had my coffee yet, so I thought it was a work of art. But the simple things in life that bring us joy, we give thanks. We don't get to choose how we enter or leave this life, but we do get to choose how to respond. And the saints who went before us chose to face life and death with God by their side, trusting in Jesus and letting the Holy Spirit guide their way. We, too, are called to such paths of sainthood. A.J. Hinch is the manager of the world champion Houston Astros baseball team. Interviewed right after they had won the championship on how great it was to have a champion for the city of Houston that had endured so much with Hurricane Harvey, he responded by recalling not only his players' great actions on the field, but their character and their volunteering in the midst of the aftermath of the storm. He said, "As we celebrate this championship, someone is still rebuilding their house in Houston. Someone is without power in Puerto Rico. Someone is still devastated in South Florida. Baseball is important," he said. "We've been chasing this championship all summer, but helping others is even more important." A day to put everything in perspective. Jesus adjusts our perspective by sharing something we call the Beatitudes. He lifts up the unexpected winners, not a baseball team, but a collection of those who are blessed, despite what common knowledge or the world around us may say. A list of blessings here in the indicative mood, not the imperative mood. It's not a bunch of commands he delivers. It's a description of how things are and the reality that he came to be a part of. What reality do they describe? An intriguing one, if you ask me. Blessed are the meek, he said. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed are the merciful. In our day and age, such people are often dismissed as hopelessly naive. The world seems to lift up other beatitudes, doesn't it? Blessed are the well-educated, for they will get the best jobs. Blessed are the brash and boastful, for they will command the media attention. Blessed are the well-connected, the well-heeled, the successful. But Jesus doesn't mention any of these. What's going on here? Well, if we read the verses right before the Beatitudes, we might get a clue. In the previous chapter, it's told that Jesus spent time among those who were outcasts, the lepers, the demoniacs, those who were in despair, in need of healing. And they came to him and he cured them. Those that society would rather forget and dispose of, Jesus took time to spend time and be with, reminding that all have divine worth. Consider the historical situation in which Jesus tells these Beatitudes, the society that included the Jews and the Romans and the Greeks. And the Jews were very proud of the superiority of their race and their history. The Romans were so proud of their military empire, the strongest at the time. And the Greeks took pride in their knowledge, the greatest minds and wisdom, sages for the ages. But Jesus doesn't lift up the prideful or the aggressors or the brilliant, but rather the poor in spirit, the meek, the merciful, those mourning, the peacemakers. It's as if he's coming to say there's a great reversal in God's kingdom. When you experience loss in this life, hold on for hope. When there is unrest, expect reconciliation. Where there is death, Jesus came to bring life. An incredible kingdom reversal that is known to us not only in the Beatitudes, but in Jesus' witness, especially in his last week of life. And as we celebrate First Communion today, we listen intently to what he said to his friends on the night before he died, sharing bread and wine with them, a foretaste, a preview of that great reversal to come, the great feast to come. You know, I think it's an incredible gift that God gives us something tangible to hold on to in the midst of our earthly journey. I think of those who have had open heart surgery receive pillows similar to this one. After their surgery, as they're recovering, they are to hold this pillow close to their chest in case they have to cough or sneeze, or God forbid if someone tells a joke and makes them laugh, because it hurts for those first few weeks. And this pillow becomes not just a practical thing for their healing, but a tangible reminder of the miracle of modern science, of the love and care of doctors and nurses and friends and family who have come to help them heal. I talked this week with a friend of our family who's a retired pastor in his 80s, had open heart surgery about a year ago. His wife kept saying how Walter just has a new lease on life since that surgery. Every morning he wakes up and says, a fresh set of 24. Yesterday he got to say a fresh set of 25. Something tangible. We went to a wedding 8 months or so ago and received a little card in the shape of a heart that had seeds implanted in the paperboard and instructions that said, plant this heart in some soil, water it, and watch the sun do its miracles. And we did that, and all summer we've been enjoying these delicate and beautiful little purple and pink and white flowers growing on our porch. A tangible reminder of how love grows. Not just love between a man and a woman, but divine love that comes into our hearts to bring healing and hope. Or I think of the handwritten letters that I've kept over the years. Letters from friends, letters from my parents, letters from all sorts of loved ones in their handwriting. As I look at those letters, I can be brought back into their presence, even though some of them have gone on to the church triumphant years ago. Something tangible to bring us into the presence of the one who loves us. This is how I see the bread and the wine of communion, as God's gift to us, something tangible to remind us of that which is beyond our seeing or fully knowing. As I shared with the students on Monday night, things made of molecules, the bread and the wine and the grape juice, to remind us of things not made of molecules. Divine love, mercy, and forgiveness. Now, I know it's not easy to believe in a God you cannot see, something invisible, someone invisible. But really, should it be that hard? I mean, there are lots of things we know exist that are invisible that we believe in and rely upon day in and day out. Bluetooth technology, smartphones. You can't see the connections, but they're happening and we rely on them and we depend upon them. We know they exist. Or more importantly, I know that courage and forgiveness and hope are real. But I can't lay them out as specimens or nuggets or examples for you to see, something tangible. Veterans Day is just right around the corner. Next week we'll have a military personnel who's been in Afghanistan, who speaks Arabic and is an expert in that area of the world. Millions have and do put on uniforms, men and women, and put themselves in harm's way. I know courage exists, even though it's invisible. And we could say the same for forgiveness, or for hope, or for peace. And I place God in that category, a reality that I know exists, but I can't necessarily point to, like I can this pillow, or these letters, or those flowers. But thanks be to God that Jesus, on the night in which he was betrayed, took bread and took wine and broke it and shared it and blessed it and said, "This is my body. Do this in remembrance of me." Bread and wine, the visible sign of the presence of the invisible author of life, nourishing you, reassuring you, encouraging you, traveling with you until our earthly pilgrimage comes to an end and we join with the saints in light in the new and heavenly Jerusalem. And now to him who is able to accomplish abundantly beyond all we could ask or imagine, to him be glory, now and forever. Amen.